Well, look, it was all a bit sudden last week, so a few reflections on Dobra's injury and the next 3 months. How is he today, I suppose, and how difficult will he be to replace?
Yeah, listen, you don't want to lose any player. And Dobra, over the last 3 years of being at the club, has been one of our big players. So to lose him, it's a blow. But as you say, it happens at every club every season. So that's why you have a squad. That's why you have players who can come in. And I think we're on a decent little run. So we'll try and continue that. But our thoughts are with Dobbs. It's not an injury we want, and we move on, and we'll try and get him back as soon as we can.
I suppose they all bring something a little different to the table, don't they? But it's just that X factor that he's got as well.
Yeah, that's why they play the top end of the pitch. They're the difference, aren't they? They are the spark. They are, and we have got a few players who, if you look through the squad, with Ronan Darcy's, James Berry, Mark Andy's, Will Dixon, Will Gray, we have got match winners at the top end of the pitch. But to lose one who's produced over them time after time in big games for us, it's a bit of a blow for us. But as I say, we've got good players to go in there.
Dobra aside, how is everybody as we look forward to Stevenage?
Yeah, it's good. Tranmere was a tough game, as you see it, a real physical battle. Monday there was a couple of tired bodies in there because it was a really high intense physical game, and he stood up to it. I thought he'd done for an away performance. I thought we had to kill a game again. We've had this conversation where we had to go and kill the game off at Tranmere because there's always going to be a set play or a mistake, and you guys might have seen it, but leading up to the goal, there's probably 3 mistakes in our goal with Tom Naylor slipping, etc. So, but he stood up to the challenge. We knew the physical challenge, the wind, the pitch was quite lively, and I thought he stood up to it. I thought we were on for a really good away performance, but performance was there. We just never got them 3 points. But coming into Monday, there was a couple of bruised lads, but we're fine now. We've had a flat week.
Very, very good performance at Tranmere. Definitely 3 points that got away. Mistakes are mistakes, aren't they? But how do you kind of coach the game management element of that then, and seeing it through on the road?
Listen, I thought we were nearly perfect in the game. The big issue for us when we go back through the game Monday is how we can go and kill that game off, because we had enough chances. We felt we should have had a penalty. We had chances in the game where this week we've worked on where we not went wrong, but where we can do better. But I thought we were nearly perfect with the away performance, but the points never come.
Well, all right, they're nearly perfect away from home. How much do you view that then maybe as a step forward? Because look, the home form has been terrific, hasn't it? But away from home, less so. But evidence that they're getting better on the road?
Well, we go back to Colchester. And I thought it was a chalk and cheese performance from that performance. We know we can't dish that out again. And it's still the back of our minds because it hurt us really bad. As much as it hurt the supporters who travelled and the supporters at home, it hurt really much here in our club, in and around the lads. We were embarrassed from that performance, and we're trying not to let that happen again. We went to Tranmere and I thought it was the other end of the scale. I thought we competed, we stuck together, we played football when we could, we created a lot more chances, so we're slowly improving.
A penalty would be nice, yeah. 13 months since Chesterfield were last awarded a penalty.
Yeah.
Apart from not maybe many incidents, why do you think that is? Because penalties are fairly regular. That in itself is quite odd to have not had one for 13 months, given the amount of incidents that happen in every game, really.
Yeah, totally agree. And we've had some incidents, haven't we? Even going back to, was it Stevenage? Swindon at home, where we should have got a pen with Michael Jacobs, and it just hasn't come for us. I don't think it's personal from referees, but we've had some really blatant penalties which just haven't come. Fingers crossed they come, but Listen, you can't affect it. That's down to the officials. We can only put our players in areas in the pitch to get not to get contact, but initiate contact where we're in the areas of the pitch where we want to be. And listen, it could be another 16 months. We don't know. We might get one Saturday, fingers crossed. But no, it's a good stat, isn't it? For well, it's not a good stat for us, but it jumps out.
So yeah, 1-0 win at Stevenage, flying high in League One, courtesy of a penalty in the FA Cup. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
yeah. I don't think many people are bet on that, would they? None of the punters are bet on that, but no, we haven't had one for a while. But as I say, we've got to be ready when we do get one.
So yes, it is Stevenage next. They've had a terrific start to the campaign too. What do you think you're up against down there tomorrow?
Probably the toughest tie we could have got. I think they were top of the league when we got drawn here. A team who to replicate the manager, what the manager was as a player. Really hard work and drilled. Everyone knows the jobs. Tough to beat. Don't concede goals. It's going to be a really tough tie. Really tough tie. A team who's so drilled in what they do and how they play, and they're so comfortable in it. They work for each other. They're such a good team. They've got players who can affect the game, the top end, and they're solid the other end. It's going to be a really tough game. They don't give much away. They don't concede many goals. And as you say, the start of the season is when you watch them, when we've studied them, there's no surprise in where they are in the league.
How much do you take from sort of previous FA Cup experiences? As you know, as a Chesterfield footballer, and indeed around the coaching staff, Chesterfield have done pretty well and earned a lot of credit and indeed victories in the FA Cup over the last decade or so, that you can take it to the lads tomorrow and say, look, this is what you're capable of?
Yeah, no, we've got to go there with that mindset. We've got to go there with it. It's not worth getting on the bus if we don't feel like we've got a plan to how to beat Stevenage, and we're going there with full confidence of under no illusion how tough it's going to be, because they'll have their plan, but it's not worth getting on the bus if we don't believe we can go there and beat Stevenage. And that's it, and obviously they'll have the same, but we have full belief. We've had a couple of good decent runs over the last couple of years, and we'll go there, we'll be the underdog in the game with the league statuses and stuff and the start they've had, but we'll go there full of confidence. We're sneakily on an okay run for us, so we'll go there and we'll try and win the game.
I get the sense sometimes that Chesterfield like the underdog tag, because you're not often the underdog. It might be sort of level pass sometimes, but you're not often the underdog. Whereas in the cup, invariably in like I say, in the last few years, you have been.
Yeah, we have, and to be fair to us, we've come out of the Orient, Northampton. They were all, I think they were league above us. Northampton at the time, wasn't he? Yeah. And then you come to West Brom, where we give West Brom a good go. Pompey. So we have some good ties, and we enjoy them. By the way, we enjoy them. It's a bit of a cliche, but it is a break from the league. You're testing yourself against players who are in a league above. So it's a good tie for us. It's a tough tie, but it's a good tie. Pitch is lovely down there, so we'll go there and we'll give it our best.
And I suppose just sort of looking further forward, and maybe more specifically for the younger players, if they can go up against a side from the higher division, it might sort of plant a seed in their mind as to what maybe they're capable of.
Well, that's it. You see where the bar's set, because obviously they're a team flying high in League One, so our players are going up against that, and no, it is. I think that's a personal thing for a player. If you're up against, kind of win a duel against a player in the league above who are going well at the minute. And tomorrow we'd have to win a fair few duels to come through the tie, because Alex has got they're really competitive team, work for each other, know the jobs, so drilled. So we'll have to win a lot of duels tomorrow to go through.